The Seattle Seahawks hired the youngest coach in the NFL after having the oldest coach in the NFL. They've moved from Pete Carroll to Mike Macdonald, the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator. Macdonald, at 36 years old, is the youngest head coach in the NFL now. He takes over the title from Jared Mayo, who held it for only about 3 weeks with the New England Patriots. Before that was Sean McVay. We're seeing a trend of younger coaches being hired by NFL teams, and in this case for the Seahawks, I think it makes a lot of sense. Macdonald got rave reviews as defensive coordinator of the Ravens the past couple of years. Players talked about his acumen, how smart he was, how his schemes really worked, and they did. His defense led the NFL in sacks this year, even though the Ravens didn't have an elite pass rusher. The Seahawks had a defensive-minded head coach with Pete Carroll, and they're continuing on that path, and it should help their defense, which has been trying to add talent to match the offense, which has DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker III. This is a very talented Seahawks team that was in the playoffs just a season ago, and they could get right back there, especially if Macdonald, with his youth, with his defensive ideas, gives them a little bit of a spark. I like this hire a lot. He was a coveted name during the whole process, and now he gets a chance to show what he can do as a head coach. Now, on the flip side, the Ravens really lose a valuable coach here. We often don't talk enough about coordinators leaving. Look at what happened to the Philadelphia Eagles this year after they lost Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. This is a huge loss for the Baltimore Ravens. I talked about that defense doesn't have a star up front. Good players, but nobody like a TJ Watt, a Myles Garrett. But yet Macdonald's schemes kept them as about a top 5, top 10 defense. And like I said, set a franchise record, 4 sacks in a season this year, led the NFL. A lot of that was Macdonald. He came in, really rejuvenated that defense. They were the #1 seed in the AFC this year, but the Ravens are going to scramble a little bit to replace Mike Macdonald. I think he was a great asset for them. It is really going to be a challenge for them to replace him as they try to get back to the top of the AFC in the regular season and maybe take the next step to a Super Bowl. Again, really like the move for the Seahawks. It's a tough loss for the Ravens, but Mike Macdonald, the youngest coach in the NFL, we can now see what he can do with the Seattle Seahawks.